Podketeers.
I don't know. I kind of look like Mrs. Doubtfire, honestly.
All right. We should get serious about this.
Serious about what?
I don't know.
Hydration?
Oh, hydration.
Serious about hydration. About
This episode
Melissa
brought to
moving
you
her
by
microphone.
water.
Ah, yes. Hydration, folks. A little bit of H and a little bit more of O, or a little bit less of O's.
Maybe a couple O's.
Couple H's,
To
a
go with
little
that
less
H.
O's. You put them together. Don't have 3 H's and an O. That's bad.
No.
2 H's
more
and
than
an O.
you
That's
need.
pretty good. You
So
put it in a
H's
bottle.
than you need.
You freeze that up. Put some other of it, a lot frozen stuff. Mix it all together. Delightful.
Oh, yeah.
The Kool-Aid
That's
Man.
what I add mine to make it delightful.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid's here. I add red flavor.
Red dye number 40.
That's right.
And 1 cup of
That's
sugar.
what makes it delicious.
1 bag of sugar.
It does.
Oh, man. What a week. You know, it's been, weather-wise, it's been great because it's no longer baking in here.
It rained yesterday.
It rained here.
Yeah.
I was about to
Yeah.
say, it caught me by surprise because the app didn't tell me that it was going to rain, and
Nope.
I left some stuff outside because I had some stuff that I had primered. I was ready to, trying to get it ready to sand down and paint. I totally forgot that they were out there, and they got wet.
Oh,
So,
sad face. Were they at least dry before they got wet?
I sure hope so.
Oh.
I mean, when I touched the primer, it was a little gummy because it's the fillable primer, technically the one that you use for cars.
Okay.
It's not just standard primer. The one that you use for cars is technically sandable as
Right.
well.
It's like
and I've
thicker.
been using it for a lot of the 3D prints. If you follow me on Instagram or if you are a part of our Discord, you may have seen that I printed Oogie's dice because...
Is that what that was supposed to be?
Come on, you knew what
How
they
dare
were.
you?
How dare you, sir? And, part of the 3D printing process is that wherever there's these little hangovers, depending on the direction that it's printing, I don't know if you'll see that small, but the bottom of the teeth have little valleys. It's not fully
Grooves?
smoothed out. Yeah. And the filler primer kind of helps smooth all that out.
Filament?
And a lot of the pieces that I had primered were part of the Lego people that I told you I was building for the pediatrics department. Excuse me, because they need them next week already for an event that they're doing. And so I'm hoping that this weekend they'll be fully dry so that I can finish sanding them down and then paint them. And thankfully the paint only takes a couple days to dry. It's not that bad. And the color scheme and everything that I'm using, I already have it planned out, so I don't think it's going to take me very long. And once I'm done, I'm hoping I can finish Oogie's dice because these are...
They look good.
Thanks. I was pretty happy with how they turned out overall.
That's
I'm
Mike
gonna primer
Wazowski.
these. It is Mike Wazowski. Mike Wazowski. Where is he? He's here somewhere. Boom, right there.
Mike Wazowski.
Yeah.
Mike Wazowski. I'm gonna see if I can print out a little snake that I can make just put on display when the dice are sitting there so that it looks like the snake.
You
is
should
coming,
use
know what I
those
mean?
when you play Monopoly.
Go?
No, just the regular Monopoly. Where
Oh,
you
I
have
don't play
dice.
regular Monopoly.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
But-
not a big board game person. Have I ever talked about that on the podcast?
I'm not since I've been here.
Okay, so
No.
I'm not a big fan of board games. There are I will play board games
Sure.
if there's a family board game or something in play. I will make an exception for stuff that I have on my shelf, like the Haunted Mansion game, the Big Thunder game, stuff like that. The only game that I will ever say, let's play this game, is Clue.
Good game.
It's really the only game that I will ever play just because I want to play. All of the
Okay.
board games, I'm not a big board game fan.
What
you know,
about
so-
what about games that are not included? Don't include a board, but are kind of in the same vein. Like,
So it's a mixture because, like, for instance, Villainous.
right.
I like Villainous, right?
Yeah.
I like the concept of Lorcana so far. I haven't played yet because I've been waiting to do one of these unboxing videos.
Right.
And we got to the point
Hop to
where
it, buddy boy.
I kind of have to at this point because my son opened up all the packs that I got for him, and he learned how to play, and he's like, Dad, I need somebody to play with, so open up your packages already. So if I can't record the video sometime soon, I think I'm just going to open them and just be able to play with him because the boxes have been sitting there for months at this point, and you know, it is what it is.
What about something like Cards Against Humanity or Apples to Apples?
Okay. Cards Against
So you
Humanity.
like games, you're just not like, you don't want to play like Trouble or like...
I mean, when I was younger, I think when I was younger, I used to like board games.
So you just don't like Monopoly?
Oh, Monopoly's the worst.
I mean...
Risk.
It causes fights.
Fest.
I don't know. I think the thing about Monopoly is that it can go on for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, it doesn't have like a clear ending, which I think a lot of other games have.
I mean, it does. It ends when one person has all the money.
But what if that takes 4 years? Exactly.
That's when it ends.
Exactly.
Or unless one person gives up, I guess. There's probably
So
a
I think,
rule.
I guess now that we're talking about it, I think that's what I have a problem with because I like Loteria, for instance. Like one of the things we played online, like we sent everybody the Coco. We had here, I have it right here, actually.
The little flip them over deals, right?
Yeah, well, we had the Coco Loteria that we played on one of the FGP calls. We took pictures of all of the cards, and then we would call the cards, and people were just like marking them off on their phones.
That's why I had Coco Melon. That's why mine were all different. That was.
Oh, is that why you lost?
That's why I lost.
Oh, see, nobody likes Coco Melon.
Confused.
It's all about Bluey, buddy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is. I think it's games that have a clear ending that I'm cool with playing. And the ones that can seemingly go on forever are the ones that I just can't.
We're in like a board game revolution, or not revolution, renaissance right now. Like there's all new board games all the freaking time.
There is.
We got, I don't know if I have any of the new ones. Do I have any new ones in here? No, I don't have any new ones in here. No, those are all puzzles. I don't see any of our new ones. We got all kinds of board games. If anybody wants to come over and play board games, I know you guys are kind of far away, but if you ever want to come over and play board games,
you know, the funny thing is that we do own a lot because my wife is really big on board games. Like she loves board games, and so we used to play board games a lot more, and it's all kind of making sense to me right now. It's all the games that we used to play that would take a really long time. I feel like now that I know more about me as a person, like I feel like I would hit like peak people meter, and I was like, I just can't do this anymore. Like we're done.
Sure.
Like I would get frustrated. I just wanted the game to end. But then there was like all the other games that had that clear ending, and regardless of who won, like I didn't care, but it had a clear ending, and I was like, it's
done.
good. We're good. We're like the game ended. Fine, we
Did you
can
ever
move
play
on now.
Ticket to Ride?
Ticket to Ride?
No.
It's like a train game. That one's kind of interesting.
What is it about?
It's trains. It's about trains.
Does it have an ending?
I mean, yeah, it has an end because the board will fill up.
Okay.
Or whatever. It's basically like, I haven't played it in such a long time, but it's an interesting game. There's like a board, and it's like the first one I think is like the map of the United States, and it has like rail lines on it, and they're like 5 cars, 6 cars, 4 cars long, or whatever. And I can't remember the exact mechanics, but you take turns putting your pieces of your train car on the routes that you're supposed to cover. You have like cards that give you your routes, and the person once the board's full, the person with the most routes covered is the winner. So there's a finite number of routes. So it's usually like a 10-15 minute game or something like that. But it's been a while since I played it, but it's a pretty fun game.
Are any of the trains named E.P. Ripley?
No, I think one's Percy and one's Gordon, James.
Like Thomas the Tank Engine characters?
Yeah, I wish. They should have a Thomas the Tank Engine tie-in for Ticket to Ride. Toby.
Are any of them named Fred?
Fred Gurley and E.P. Ripley and
CK?
Holiday.
Ward?
Yeah, yeah. They're
No,
all. We got
none of
them all.
those?
Ernest S. Marsh.
Yes. None of those?
No, I don't
That would
think
make the
so.
game more interesting.
Maybe there's a Disney Ticket to Ride.
And if there isn't, you're welcome, Disney.
Right?
Somebody.
There's another
Let's
thing you can make money off of. You're welcome.
And
Yeah.
charge like an extra $50 for it.
So I'm I'm looking. I just looked up Disney Ticket to Ride, and somebody has made custom pieces for the game. And so one's like a they have different monorails, but then they have like
Nice.
the Nautilus
Oh,
and
that's
like
cool.
like a Space Mountain or a Doom Buggy or a Teacup.
That's cool.
So, and you can print them from the Thingiverse.
What?
Oh, uh-oh.
What?
A light bulb just went off.
Light
What?
bulb.
I like it.
I'll
I'm in.
send it to you.
Yeah, I'm actually having a lot of fun 3D printing stuff. It was funny because I realized after I printed these, like, did I need to make this? No. Am I happy I did? Like, 100% yes. I'm just like, as soon as I saw them printed, I was so happy. Like, they took a long time to print too. Like, I think for both of them, it was just over 4 hours to print both.
Whoa.
But yeah, I was really happy with how they came out. And that's kind of been like, I've just been printing random stuff, just testing the limits of stuff. Like, this was the last thing I printed. I don't know if this looks familiar to you or anybody else.
It's Harry Potter's wand or Dumbledore or Voldemort.
It's Voldemort's wand.
Ah.
Yeah, it's not painted yet. It is right off of
I just had to guess.
the printer. But
I could have kept guessing if I didn't guess.
yeah, it's Voldemort's
Well, you guessed
wand.
well.
Yeah. And then I actually printed this for a friend, but I had made like a little version as a testing thing, and I made this little bust of Yoda. I don't know if I showed this on the podcast yet, but
No, this is really cool.
yeah, this basically was the same color as the dice. And then I learned about some stuff called rub and buff, which is just hilarious to me. And I made it look like antique gold.
Oh, never mind. I was going to make a bad joke.
So I was pretty happy with how this came out too, because it's got a lot of detail, especially for how small it is. And the one that I made for my buddies, probably 3 times the size of this one, so it looked really good. Like you could see like the skin grooves on the larger version of this.
Ooh.
But I don't know. The fact that it looks like a little bronze statue, I think looks pretty cool. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
this I think is definitely going to be one of those things that I make more of and I send out to members of the FGP squad. So it could be this. It could
Chewbacca.
be. No, I think it'll be
No, it can't be
specific
Chewbacca.
things. I don't have a Chewbacca
Ooh.
Yet.
yet.
But what if you
For
had a
Life
Chewbacca?
Day.
Maybe.
It could
Well,
be.
but I don't have a Chewbacca though.
Well, let's make
Like-
one. Let's
like
find
I
one.
got a
I'll buy it.
Yoda.
Yeah.
Can
It's like I don't
buy
have
it?
Chewbacca,
What if
but
I
I'll
look
send
up
you
on my-
Yoda.
Let's see. Chewbacca
Chewbacca.
bust.
Chewbacca.
Star
there one?
Wars Chewbacca bust. Tested. Ready for 3D printing. Download all files.
I wonder how it looks.
In this, blue.
That's not very descriptive, but okay.
You can download the complete model here. Star Wars.3.blobbity.
Some of these look pretty nice. I don't know. I'll see if there is one that I
I
can.
found
print out.
him. Chewbacca. $0.
Chewbacca.
Look, I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to send it to
Okay,
you.
send me the link.
I'm just sending you all kinds of stuff.
Yes,
I like
it.
Chewbacca. You also, I like, I don't know. Never mind.
But I have several of these that I'm going to be testing out. I was pretty happy with how Yoda came out. I have a Black Panther. I have a Deadpool bust. I have a Spider-Man, but with the symbiote taking over. So like Venom overcoming Spider-Man. And all of these are meant, I think, to be painted. Like I've seen some of these printed out and painted professionally, and they look amazing. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting pretty good at like making them look like antique little models. So you'll probably get something like this, you know. And then I finally finished Jack, which I think I showed off last episode. I finally finished his arms. I just painted them with a black marker.
Hey, whatever works.
It worked. It got the point across.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna be posting updates on the dice as soon as I can, and then I'm gonna make some cool stuff to send out to people because we got the holidays coming up, and I want to make sure that we can send out something cool to the FGP squad. So yeah.
Nice.
You know what? Speaking of building cool things. I had a couple of videos that I wanted to show you. First, actually, I want to show you this video that Mel sent to us earlier this week because I love a good Lego build. I love a good Lego build, and when I see stuff like this, it makes me a little angry that I don't have more space to build stuff like this. But check this out. This was posted by Beyond the Brick TV. And let me just play the video.
He's got whales on his shirt.
Yeah. Here we
So
go.
you go in a door, and it's a bunch of Legos. There's some TIE fighters. And
it's the trench run scene
X-wing,
from
blinking
Star
lights.
Wars. Apparently, this entire thing was 80,000 pieces by a Lego artist named Wani Kim, I believe. This is at the Lego South Korea campus, if I'm not mistaken.
There's Mickey
But
Mouse.
look, Mickey Mouse is there. Yep. But
At
man,
the controls.
this is just such an amazing build. From like all of the little details of having like all of their weapons hanging, like all of the things that they're doing, the fact that you got all these like little like all the figures eating and stuff like. Ah, man. The workers.
So good.
It's so amazing.
Mouse
I feel
droids.
like people have to see
Explosion.
like yes, the video is really, really cool, but to hear it with the music, I mean, we just can't because of copyright strikes.
Is it going
But
like
the
dun,
presentation?
Dun, 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 dun. No, that's Indiana Jones. What am I
No,
doing here?
not the wrong one.
Dun, 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 dun,
It is just
dun, dun,
so,
dun,
so
dun, dun,
good.
dun,
Not so close, Andrew. You're gonna get a copyright strike.
Scuttle's here.
I like how they have like a greenhouse on this Death Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So canonically, Mickey Mouse fires the Death Star and blows up Alderaan. Is that right?
Oh, is that where that came from?
I guess.
I believe so.
Man, I always wondered. What that was.
It's
There
like
was-
it's like a million voices screamed out in terror, and then they were all silenced.
Oof.
That's from the movie.
It is.
There was another
Something
one.
like
I
that.
don't know if it was Beyond the Brick TV that posted this as well, but at one of the Lego conventions, they had built out an entire Pirates of the Caribbean scene
Oh, with the water.
with the water, and
Wait,
it
what?
looked
There's
Let
like
me see
two
if I
levels.
can quickly. Yeah, let me see if I can
Hold, please.
find it. Yep, it is Beyond the Brick TV. But except that they posted this one on YouTube. So let me quickly mute it because we all know what that got us last time.
Yep.
Here, I'll do the music. That's okay.
All right. So I'm just going to mute this and let me share this tab. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So this is, again, Beyond the Brick TV. And I had seen the clip of this on Instagram, I believe. But look at this.
Hello, folks. We're here over here on the day at the Lego store and the Lego factory, and then we're here. Just tell us about your model here. Bum, 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 bum,
And they had actual water
boy.
in this
How you
model.
doing? Dun 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 dun.
So if I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like they have the blue bayou there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken,
Oh my gosh.
I think they set it up so that either magnets or something were guiding them through the specific track.
That's pretty
But
smart.
look at
They
this.
have the cube
Yeah.
and the like exterior.
Wait-
of the, this is
wait until you
Disneyland's
see
Pirates
the-
of the Caribbean.
Wait until you see the underlayer, though.
Right. I mean, based on this top layer, it looks like it's just water flow that's sending them because the boats don't look like they control too well.
I thought I remembered seeing or hearing something in the video that they
It is
posted
definitely
that talked
possible.
about. Yeah. All right, let me see.
There's
if we
a
can
tree.
fast forward
Tree.
The
let's
giant
go
tree
back to
that blocks
this.
Phantasmic.
Okay. So you could see a little bit under the
So
water.
it's cool that it has like a plexiglass bottom. And so I think this is just 2 layers.
Yeah.
Like
so
it's like an
here's
upper
the
and a
entrance
lower.
queue.
That is so
Lafitte's
cute.
Landing. As y'all may remember.
Yep.
Isn't it Lafitte's?
It's a Lafayette.
Lafitte's.
Lafitte.
All right.
Wow.
La Fontanton.
This is definitely.
Loopy doopy
Oh, here we
doopy
go.
doopy doopy. You see the boat crashes
Okay.
into the wall.
I guess you're right. I
Is it 'cause
thought
of-
it had like a track that it was following.
Wow.
Okay, here
Maybe
we
the
go.
lower one does. Oh, this is like the Blue Bayou break room.
But look, there's
Oh.
Mickey
Mickey.
getting dressed in the bathroom. They love to put Mickey Mouse in all these models.
Backstage.
Yeah.
All
Now
right.
we know what's behind the wall.
Right? Oh no, the secrets. Okay, here we go. Look at this.
Underneath.
So they have this entire bottom layer that has the scenes from the attraction,
Yeah.
still with running water, and it's got some light effects. Dead men tell no tale.
That is so cool.
How can he possibly survive?
The lightning. Lightning. Oh.
This is so good.
So just
And
the
again,
caves, the gold.
So this is another instance of why don't I have more space for stuff like this?
and the time
Yeah.
to do it.
And the time to do
Right.
it, exactly.
And the money.
And the money.
And the money.
Because
And the money.
Lego sets are expensive, and especially if it's an official set, right? I can't
Yeah.
imagine
But this is
what
not.
this.
Yeah.
I know, but imagine how much this costs to build.
Yeah, 500,000 pieces.
Yeah, I
Oof.
don't know if they list how many pieces are a part of it, but man, this is talent. This
That
obviously
is.
it takes time, it takes patience.
What is this we're looking at here?
Oh,
the
the
back of a
apartments.
different model.
No, this is the apartments where Carlos used to live before he got dunked. I don't know.
You know, Carlos's apartment.
They have the parrot at the front?
With the map?
Yeah.
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 Dead men tell no tales.
Anyway, I just wanted to share that as well because I
Cool.
thought the other video was amazing, but then this one just I'm telling you, space, time, money. I know some
Just
of these
all of
people
it.
actually get paid for stuff like this,
Mm-hmm.
and like I love when they can plan out an entire build. But one of the reasons I really love like the show Brickmasters, for instance, on Hulu.
On Fox.
On Fox with Batman. The
Right.
part of the reason I love stuff like that is because the fact that people can just visualize what they want to build and start building, and
That's
it
just called
just
Lego Masters, by the way.
oh yeah, Lego Masters. I don't know why I spazzed on it, but the fact that they could just like imagine something and just like build it, and it just comes out pretty much kind of like how they imagined it. I know for the show they have to kind of like sketch it out and stuff, but I think that's more for the dramatic effect of the show.
Right.
Anytime somebody could just build and it looks like this, oh man, that is. I bow to that design superiority, because that is amazing stuff. Okay, so that leads to a couple of other things that I wanted to show you. Since we're talking about Lego, there was a video of Adam Savage.
I think I see Adam Sandler. You told me about this earlier, and you said Adam, and I was like, you're going to say Sandler.
No,
We're tired.
It was Adam Savage, formerly of Mythbusters fame.
Right. I mean, he's still of Mythbusters fame.
Well, yeah, but he's not on the show anymore.
Correct.
So he visited someone that goes by Mantis Robot. I don't know what the company name is, but that's the account handle on Instagram and TikTok and stuff. But the creator, Mantis Robot, created this little Lego bike, this little Lego motorcycle, and guess how they made it?
Wood.
3D printed it.
What?
3D printed it. I want to make one of these.
XXL Lego. That's me. I need XXL Lego.
I would look like a bear at a circus riding a little bike. It would be awesome.
Right.
You know what? You live your life and you make one of these.
Doesn't this look so good though?
Wow.
So they actually he put in a battery, he put in all the mechanics to actually make
motor,
it function.
in the wheel.
And I'm pretty impressed that at the end of the video, they actually ride this little motorcycle, and it holds up really well.
Can we ride that like on the street?
I mean, you could ride it on a street. I don't think it's street legal.
But
like
can
sidewalk.
You make it street legal?
I mean, I don't know, maybe sidewalk. Probably sidewalk. It's like considered a toy.
I want to print one of these now. I mean, this is goals for me. Like this officially made the list of things that I want to print out, because
you should make me like a big one where it's like actual motorcycle size. Like
that would take some time, but I think I can make it happen. Every month I'll send you 1 or 2 pieces.
Right.
And then by the end of the year, you could piece it all together for Christmas. It'll be like that episode of The Office where Dwight keeps getting gifts of like little tiny pieces to build like his ultimate gift. Like I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to send you pieces and pieces.
Giant Lego bricks in the mail.
Exactly. And then the final video that I want to show is FGP Squad member and friend of the podcast, Anita, sent this to me. It is an engineer. She goes by She Builds Robots.
Oh, not
on
like a train
Instagram.
engineer?
No.
Yeah.
It's like mechanical engineer.
Oh.
But
I'm just getting everything wrong today. Jeez.
check this out.
Oh.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever made with my engineering degree.
No, it's not.
I wanted to make Remy from Ratatouille for Halloween, but motorized to actually pull hair. I 3D printed a rat with space to hold 2 sub-micro servo motors, then coded the arms to move randomly. In the interest of not scalping myself, I did a yarn test first, and then came the moment of truth.
That is so cute.
Okay. So I don't have the other video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't have the other video. But the update is that she took this existing Remy and made it so that it follows her hands movements. So that while she's cooking or moving her arms, Remy does the same thing on her head. And 3D printing, engineering, this is awesome.
It is.
Again, goals. Wrong engineer.
Oh my goodness. It is
wrong. That's other
man.
engineer.
If she happens to hear this, this is not a stupid thing. You did great.
Right?
Like this is awesome.
Right? As soon as she said that, I was like, I think we have different definitions of stupid, because
I mean,
this
she
is
could be
awesome.
stupid as she means like silly. Like I say stupid all the time, and I'm like, this is stupid, and I love it. Like,
I want one of these. Like, I'm telling you, there's so many things that made the list of things I want to 3D print this week that time. Maybe I need to buy a second printer. Who knows?
or a third, and a fourth.
Third. Or a print farm. Maybe I should take everything out of the garage and just make an entire 3D print farm.
How about, I figured it out. Everybody lives in the garage and the rest of the house is the 3D printers.
You know what?
I guess.
I like that idea.
It's called thinking outside the box.
Just a little bit. All right, so I thought those were fun.
Yeah.
If you see any fun videos out there, if you're listening, watching to the podcast, send them over to us. We'd love to play them. We'd love to share them with everybody. This is how I spend a good part of my day, especially those times of day where you just need a little pick-me-up. And you see cool stuff like this, and then it turns into, why don't I have the space and money to do this?
Right.
I want to do this. But it makes me happy, so I watch it. And then I go and I print stuff like this. Avada.
You get inspired.
I'm not going to finish it. Anyways. Let's see. What else do we have? I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick break to thank a special group of people, and then we'll jump into the rest of the podcast, because we got a couple of other, good things to talk about, and then it's going to be Rantorama for a little bit.
It's called Complaint O'Clock. We have a thing, and it's called Complaint O'Clock.
I mean, this might jump into Rantorama, though.
Rantorama.
Like,
Toyota
it's definitely
Fun.
It's definitely Complaint O'Clock, but it might turn into Rantorama because
Truck month.
we're going to try to hold back a little bit.
Yeah.
Try to be respectful about what we say. But before we get to that, we just want to take a moment to thank a very special group of listeners known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. If you're interested in becoming a part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to go to podketeers.com/FGP. There you will find a little information about what the FGP Squad is all about. Being a part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for new Podketeers gear, access to a special section of Discord, you get access to additional content that we've uploaded to Patreon, access to our happy hour calls when we get an opportunity to do those, random giveaways like the Yoda thing that I showed earlier, or other stuff that I just like to send out to people, and more. So again, podketeers.com/FGP is where you want to go for more information. There you'll find a list of some of our top contributors, a link to our Patreon, some info on the FGP Squad, of course. But of course, we just want to send a huge thank you to all of the members of the FGP Squad for their continued support. Also, since we're talking about links, podketeers.com/links is where you want to go for some of the most commonly asked for links, including our latest episode, the Disneyland playlist. On that page, you'll also find, of course, a link to the FGP Squad and a link to any Teamboat Willie fundraisers that we are currently running. You'll also find a link to our Discord community. You could click there to join. And, of course, you'll find links for our YouTube channel and Larry's YouTube channel, Goofy Guys Adventures. And you'll find a link to our Armchair Imagineering playlist as well. So, podketeers.com/links is where you want to go and bookmark it, put a little shortcut icon on your phone, all that good stuff.
We should call it podketeers.com/Zelda
I call it whatever I want.
instead of links.
We could
I got
call
it.
it Zelda, yeah.
Yeah.
Put a little Triforce at the top and everything.
Yeah, podketeers.com/Triforce.
Sure,
But it's
let's
just
get
the symbol. You
Nintendo
gotta
on
figure out
us.
you gotta figure out how to type in the Triforce symbol. Not Sour Bill or whatever his name is.
Cypher.
Oh, Sour Bill Cipher.
Sour. Now I want a Sour Patch Kid. Sour Patch Cypher. That's the new Gravity Falls.
Sour Bill, that's a guy,
gummies.
right? That's from Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
We're mixing everything today. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
late, but it's okay.
It's
We'll get it
my
done.
fault. I had a show I
It's
had to
not
be
your
at. It's
fault.
late. I'm gonna
It's
go
okay.
sleep. I'm gonna go
It's
sleep now.
life. It's
It is.
life.
What if I just lay back here? I'm just kidding.
Okay, so quick news. Minnie Mouse is coming to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Right.
For those of you that may have watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, you may be familiar with the big balloons of different characters that just kind of fly over, the street.
Famous ones like
cartoons, Mickey
Blue's
Mouse,
Clues. Oh,
all of them.
Oh yeah.
Snoopy, Blue's
Snoopy's-
Clues. Snoopy's a big one all the time. Disney-wise, though, Mickey has always kind of been the centerpiece balloon that they've done. There have been other times where they've had other balloons, like really early on in the 1930s, they had a Pluto balloon and a Donald balloon. In the 90s, there was finally a Goofy balloon as well. But making her debut this year as part of the parade is Minnie Mouse.
Oh.
And I thought it was going to be some kind of tie-in to, the other promotions that they've done with Minnie for like Rock the Dots and stuff, where they changed the front of the park when you first entered. From the Mickey, like topiary head, they made like a big Minnie. I thought it had to do some kind of promotion, but it looks like they're just adding Minnie this year. It's just, something new that they're trying. I thought that's pretty cool. Do you ever watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
No.
I
just see the pictures after.
I've seen it like before, but yeah, I don't regularly watch it. I just brought up a list. I found the list of the balloons that are going to be there
For this year?
For this year,
Is Bluey one of them?
No, we have
What?
Diary
Aw.
of a Wimpy Kid. This is the
Oh.
this is the third time appearance of Diary of the Wimpy Kid. For the first appearance, Extraordinary Nora and the Elf on the Shelf. Also for the first time, Goku.
Oh, wow.
Also for the first
Whoa.
time, Marshall from Paw Patrol.
Nice.
Also for the first time, Minnie Mouse.
Yay.
Also for the first time, Spider-Man. In his 6th appearance, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Of course.
For her
And
first
your
time,
host, Sabrina Carpenter,
Oh, I
with
should have
musical
done-
guest,
should have
Ariana
done it in-
Grande.
I should have done it in Don Pardo. I was doing a... And for the first time, Dora the Explorer. And for the 6th time, Smokey the Bear.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
With your musical guest,
Smokey and the
Limp
Bandit.
Biscuit. Oh, I don't...
Nobody wants
That
to
was
listen to Limp
random.
Biscuit.
And your host, Christopher Walken. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Walken. I don't know.
All right, now you have to do walk-in.
I cannot do a Walken.
Introducing. I mean, everybody's got a horrible version of walk-in.
Do you ever see... I'm just going to go on a rant about Christopher Walken. There was a lot, like, it's called Peter Pan Live. It was like when they were doing all those live musicals.
It's on
And it was
NBC.
Peter Pan. Yeah, at NBC. And Christopher Walken played Captain Hook.
No.
It was...
I remember the special. I don't remember him being Captain Hook, though.
It was weird. He, like, tap danced and stuff. He's like, I don't know. By Christopher Walken turned into Doc Brown. Marty, listen here. We got to get back to 1985.
I was better at doing walk-in before, and I feel like
I got a fever.
any impression, I think, is one of those, like, the more you don't practice it, the more you kind of lose it.
Oh, hey. Nope, that's Fonzie or something.
It's definitely Fonzie. If I tried it right now, I'm gonna mangle it. So I'm gonna try it so I can just mangle
Okay,
it.
here
so,
we go.
What do you want? What should I
Sure.
say?
I got a fever.
Oh,
and
I
the only
know.
prescription is more
No,
Cali.
I know.
Oh.
We're gonna talk about Disneyland raising their prices. We hate it.
Wah.
Why?
Wah. Ah.
Nobody likes it that they raise the prices.
Ladies and gentlemen, Disneyland's prices.
Boo.
Boo, boo. Yeah, they boo him. I boo him.
We can mix Walken and Seinfeld and be like, who are these people raising the prices?
I don't want to raise the prices.
Oh, jeez.
Woo, we could tell it's super late, huh?
Yeah.
It's
okay.
3:30 in the morning, folks.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You could
feels
tell
like
everyone's
it.
delirious at this point. Let's see. All right, so there was another piece of good news. We'll get to that piece.
Don't you
of
bring
news
me no
at the
bad
end.
news, Heyzen.
Well, let's talk about the price hike since we're already there, and then we'll talk about the other piece of good news that happened.
Fine.
So we got word that Disney was going to be raising their ticket prices a week or two ago, and so 6% increase, and that's just one of those things that people are just kind of used to at this point, right? And
Right.
we've always said that as long as people keep paying, they're going to keep doing this, and I mean that's kind of where we are, right? So
Yep.
there's been a lot of discourse online from a lot of people, and to a certain extent, I would say it's kind of justified, right? Because a lot of people are saying that Disney is getting to the point where they're pricing out a lot of people that they
Right.
just can't go, especially if they have larger families. Even if you save up and make it like your one trip a year, they are making it really difficult for families to go enjoy the parks. And that turned into a major discussion point this last week because Disney announced that they were going to be releasing a brand new product that you can add on to your ticket. It's going to be called Premier Plus, right? That's the name of it? Is it Premier?
Is it Premier Plus? Is it Premier Lightning Lane?
I'm pretty sure it was Premier Plus.
Survey says Premier Pass.
Lightning Lane Premier Pass. That's
Oh,
what
we
it's
were
called.
close. You guys were close.
Lightning Lane. Yeah,
They had
Lightning
a Premier.
Lane.
See, Disney loves to reuse words that they had already,
Yep.
and they just do it again. Because I had a Premier Pass.
I did
it
too.
was-
Take it
Yeah,
and be
it
like,
was a
I have
both
one.
coast annual pass. It
Let me
exists. It's
use
gold.
this to ride
was
whatever I
pretty.
want.
That's like Magic Key. I don't know a lot. I covered it on Disneyland at one point. Magic Key was a type of ticket that they had in the past that they reused the name of for our new annual passes, the Magic Key.
So in a couple of years, they're gonna go back to APs or annual passes and be like, it's all new. Annual passes are coming
Folks,
to
Please,
it's
Disneyland.
all
just
new.
continue calling it.
We never changed it.
Never changed. It was always the same.
Yep.
It's gonna be like Apple. They're just gonna be like, you need this. We're giving it to you. We refined it. We made it better. Annual passes.
We put
a button on the side.
you know those buttons we took away? We added them back. Next
You know
year they're
that
going to add
barcode?
the
There it
headphone
is.
jack back.
Okay, so Lightning Lane Premier Pass. Again, there's been a lot of discussion over the last several days since the announcement for this because on top of the fact that all these ticket prices just went up 6%, Disney is planning on charging anywhere from, I believe it was $199. No, that's Universal. Here at Disneyland, the price is going to be $400. So there's going to be
To
two.
start, right?
Yeah. It's actually it's kind of weird because in order to add this on here at Disneyland, it starts October 23rd. $400 will give you this new Premier Pass, and starting next year, it will have a variable price depending on the day that you go. But
That's
from
somewhere
now
like
until next
200
year,
to 400 and something.
right? But right now, it's going to be just $400, and it's probably because it's the holidays and everything is coming up right now. At Walt Disney World, there will be multiple options for this because it will range. This is starting October 30th at Walt Disney World. Magic Kingdoms will be $329 up to $449, Animal Kingdoms will be $129 up to $199 depending on the day. Epcot's will be $169 up to $249, and Hollywood Studios $269 up to $349. Now this is per person,
Per park per day.
per park per day. So before we even get into what it can potentially be at Walt Disney World, let's just talk about Disneyland for a second.
Sure.
At Disneyland, the ticket prices range anywhere from, and this is going by the new pricing, they go from $104 up to $206 for a single day for one park.
Mm-hmm.
So for a tier 6 day, that's $206 plus $400 for this new addition.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at $606 per person on a
Per
tier
park,
6
yeah.
day per park.
Oof.
Well,
we
it's
don't know.
really, yeah, single, because you could pay the $400 for the other park and not have to pay. Well, you still have to pay for a second ticket, but you get
You have to
multi-day
pay a park
tickets.
hopper ticket, but I think that the Disneyland
Right.
one works for both parks, would be my guess. It doesn't say. I don't think
It
at this
doesn't
moment.
say for that one. Yeah, they're very
My
specific.
guess is that's
for
why the
Disney World
Disneyland one is more is priced higher average than the Disney World one, because they have like a lot lower prices.
Yeah,
Like
I don't
like
know.
Animal Kingdom's like $100 or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's attraction based.
Right? How many?
You know, yeah.
Count wise.
Right. But the question I think everyone is asking is, well, before we get into that, your initial thoughts on this new Premier Pass option. You know, how does it make you feel, and who do you think this is for exactly?
I actually have a question. Why is Autopia included in this? Like, is it
Because
really
Autopia has a
worth...
fast pass line.
Exactly. But is it really worth part of the $400?
Well, they just have to list everything that's included. They're not going to not include it.
Right.
You could ride Autopia one
But-
time with this.
Yeah, for $400. I'm not mad. It's more like it's just a funny joke.
Right.
Like, I could complain, but I'm seeing things. I'm like, is it worth the value? I don't know. Bobby,
Because
let
you
us
get to
know.
see Asimo and Bird. Yo soy Bird.
Yeah. Yo soy broke after this.
Right?
Because, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's seeing the price is interesting. Oops, sorry, microphone. I bumped a microphone, everybody. It's kind of, you know, it definitely feels just like a money grab. Like everything Disney does in the last couple years, since COVID, you know, past the pandemic starting, has felt like a money grab. Everything has felt like, well, we're shifting gears. We're reaching for it. This one feels, you know, we've said it before, but just very blatant of like, hey, you know, there's this thing you hate. Well, look, you can hate it more.
Yeah.
Yay. It's more expensive. Like, so from what I understand, that this is a different option than the Lightning Lane that currently exists, the Lightning Lane program. Lightning Lane program, right now you can pay a fee and then you book the times for the Lightning Lanes, then you can pay the 25, 30, 35, whatever it is, dollars for the individual Lightning Lanes. This pass guarantees you entrance to every Lightning Lane attraction once. So you can ride and you get in the Lightning Lane line. You don't get like special priority third Lightning Lane line, premier line or something. That doesn't exist. You're still just going in, but you can access that at any time you want. So you could pay this astronomical fee and
Yeah.
just go boom, 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 knock out every single Lightning Lane attraction right in a row if you wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the time of day and how long those lines are, it might take you a while, but it's an option, I guess. And this is not dissimilar to something that Universal has with their Express Pass or whatever it's called. And so, if this was the only option, then okay, because it's gonna make this long episode. I'm sorry. The Lightning Lane, Fast Pass, whatever, we've seen it. It makes the lines longer. The people that pay for it, it makes the lines shorter-ish for them, but I have a feeling that if it did not exist whatsoever, generally everybody would wait in a significantly shorter line because we don't have two lines competing for each other at the same time. It's kind of like on the freeway where it merges down from one lane to two lanes. It's you can take everybody's going to go slow, but if we just got one lane going the whole time, we're just going doom do 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 do. And so if the only option was to pay a crazy amount of money to get this special line, then it wouldn't be used nearly as much. It would be like, haha, those are the hoity-toity rich people or whatever, and they're going in the line, but it really wouldn't make such an effect on everybody else that's in line because it would be such a sparingly used thing.
Right.
But because we have now another tier of Lightning Lane on top of what already exists, it's just going to impact that line even more, where the ratio of Lightning Lane folks to standby line folks is just going to go up. It's going to be like, all right, one group for 20 Lightning Lane, one group for 20, and the wait times are going to go up. Granted, this does say it's in very limited quantities. So I don't know if does that mean 100 people? Does that mean 5,000 people? What does that mean for very limited quantities? And are they going to take the number of those that they're selling and take it away from the number of the Lightning Lane individual purchases? Probably not. But if they want to keep some sort of balanced ecosystem in this whole structure that they've created, they probably should. So it's just a whole big thing. And Universal's pass, we were looking it up earlier, it can be at a comparable price, but that's on their highest price is nowhere near the highest price, and their lowest price is way lower, and it includes at least for Universal Studios Hollywood, their Express Pass, you can buy it with admission. Like the cheapest is like $200.
Yeah, their most expensive was $319.
$319 including admission.
Yeah.
And so, granted, Universal Studios Hollywood is a much smaller park than Disneyland. So it's kind of comparing, apples and roller skates. Like it's not the same.
It's not that different.
Okay, apples and
papaya or something. I don't know.
Apples and grapes. Disneyland's got a bunch of grapes and whatever. Anyway, so it's just, number, if you think about Disneyland has, approximately 50 some odd attractions, and Universal Studios Hollywood has 14.
Yeah.
So your attraction per capita is a little higher at Disneyland.
Of course.
So that is somehow they're justifying the price, I'm assuming.
Right.
But the other thing that is kind of interesting to think about is the VIP tour price.
Yes.
Because the VIP tour price, of what I could find at this moment when we're researching it, is on its cheapest day $500 per hour with a $700 minimum.
Right.
And that's for 10 people. Up to 10 people. You could do it with one person. They don't care. But 10 people. So if you split that among, that's $3,500. You get, that's 7 hours. among 10 people, that's $350 a person to have a tour guide guiding your group around and basically getting the same, better treatment actually probably
Way better.
than the Lightning Lane folks. And you have somebody to talk to, and that's filled with the knowledge of Disney parks, and
You get snacks.
Yeah, snacks and
Talk about
pins
value.
and lanyards and stuff. You'd have to get a group of 10 together to make this work in the way that we're talking about, and girl math it to save money, quote unquote. But who knows if those prices will also go up to reflect this? And I mean, that is on their cheapest day. I don't know what the most expensive is on their most expensive day. But we've all known, tour guide people. They're some of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life, people that are Disneyland tour guides. And they're so knowledgeable. It's like, I would wholeheartedly pay for this tour over this Lightning Lane
Yeah.
gabagool.
Yeah.
Baloney.
Yeah.
It is baloney.
Yeah, there's so many numbers. There's so many numbers.
So,
I'm not a fan of numbers.
real quickly.
These numbers are the show numbers.
Yeah. Okay, so it's $400 per person per park, correct?
We don't know that yet
Oh,
Well, it's
at Disneyland, right?
no, but
So at Disneyland, they didn't
California
announce
Adventure.
they haven't announced it. It says that it's available starting October 23rd, but it doesn't say if you could split it between the parks.
If you only have to buy it once for both parks or not.
Right.
That's not been announced. Florida, they have it broken down into 4 parks.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have a feeling that Disneyland's one will. This is just my gut feeling that it will work for both parks, because I mean, if you think about the Lightning Lane attractions that are at California
Yeah,
Adventure,
that's
it's
exactly
few
where
and
I was
far
going.
between.
Yeah.
Right. Oh man, yeah, that was it, because
Well,
I'm like,
yeah, I guess it is. Most of their attractions have Lightning Lane now, but they just don't have the number of attractions in comparison to Disneyland Park.
Yeah.
yep.
It's interesting because you talked about how, when they added Genie Plus, how much of a backup it created in the queues, right? And how the queues were longer, and when they added Lightning Lane, and it just made it much more difficult for people to, especially the ones that didn't have anything, the ones that were just standing in the standby queue. It just definitely made their experience a lot worse. They were waiting longer. And there definitely is a point where there's just diminishing returns on the investment, and not just on your own investment, but I'm just not talking like monetary. There's also like how much fun you're having in the parks.
Usefulness.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the biggest complaints that I've heard over the last couple of years is that people say that Disneyland doesn't feel as magical as it used to, and I think it's been for a lot of different reasons, right? We've talked about the upkeep of the park, we've talked about how there's been so much construction, we've talked about just a myriad of things that I think would put people in that mindset. But really, when it feels like you're getting nickel and dimed by the parks for every single thing, it really cuts back on the enjoyment, because it limits the enjoyment you can have when you go, right? And so something like this, I don't see many locals using this unless they absolutely have the money to spend on something like this.
Right.
I can see someone using this as, the one time that they go to the parks on a yearly basis or every couple of years. Like, this is their splurge, this is their vacation, this is what they're spending. Once you start stacking all of the costs, it's like going on a cruise. It's like, other vacations. It just happens to be at Disneyland. And I think the bit of disconnect that I see here is that a lot of these prices are reaching some of the tiers that you're paying at like Walt Disney World. But the difference between Disney World and Disneyland to me is that Disney World is more of a destination versus a locals park the way Disneyland and California Adventure are, right? Like, I get it, 2 parks, you got all of downtown Disney, you have the whole resort and everything, but it's really a locals park. And the way that they're raising prices, it looks like they're trying to make Disneyland a destination the way that the other parks are around the world.
They don't want it to they don't want to be a locals park. Remember, we're the, what do they call us?
Unfavorable crowd or mix.
Unfavorable
attendees or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, unfavorable crowd mix. Yeah.
Yeah, good callback. So, I mean, that's where we are at this point, right? They're raising the prices to make it more of this vacation destination, and it's pricing out a lot of people that just can't afford to do that. I mean, we were playing around with the numbers earlier, and like if you have a ticket just for, let's say that it's a tier 6, right? You're looking at $206 just for the ticket, single park, and then you want to add this Premier Lightning Lane pass. That's an additional $400. You're looking at $606. Now, let's say you got a family of 4. You multiply it by 4. You're at $2,400 plus dollars for just 4 people for a single day at Disneyland. Not even California Adventure.
That doesn't even include Park Hopper. Add another $250 on top of that.
You're adding exactly. It's for a single Park Hopper. What are we looking at? It is $200 additional dollars per.
No, I think it's like $60-something additional.
No, I mean total. Like for 4 people, it's like
I think,
something,
like
right?
Maybe
yeah.
3.
So at that point, you're almost close to $3,000 to be able to park hop for 4 people for one day.
And your $30 of parking.
Yeah.
And your $8
and
churro.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely getting to a point where there's going to be a lot of people that won't continue to be able to enjoy the parks, especially as prices keep going up. The thing that bothers me about this right now is that this is on the heels of all of the changes to the DAS system, right? And there's been a lot of, and I can't obviously vouch for any of this as a personal experience because I can only go by what people are saying their experiences right now. So please take what I'm about to say with that grain of salt. I just want to make sure that I put the disclaimer out there that none of this was my personal experience. However, there are people that are calling in to try to get a DAS pass for their upcoming visit, and they're being told that they don't qualify when clearly a lot of them do. You could see them, clear as day that they would qualify.
Yeah.
And there are some people that are also stating, again, with a grain of salt, there are people that are stating that they are being told by the cast members on the phone to just buy Genie Plus. Or to rent a wheelchair, or, to stand in the regular line, to spend basically more money in order to get the accommodations that they feel they should have as part of the American Disabilities Act, really, right?
Yeah.
And so the fact that they're adding this, it could be all coincidental. It could be something that they were already planning, but the fact that this was announced on the heels of the changes to the DAS system just makes it really feel like a money grab. And I think that's part of what's fueling how people feel about this pass. Because in what they are offering, like you said, Universal already has something like that, right? It's not unseen. It's something that other parks do.
Six Flags probably has it.
Six Flags has it as well, exactly. Theirs is a little bit different because I think theirs includes like the Hurricane Harbor,
and
like
stuff, and
they have. Or is it Six Flags or is it Knott's that has like the pass that you could also buy food and free drink refills and stuff?
Yeah.
It's Knott's,
yeah,
right?
there's
Knott's
all kinds
has it,
of them where that's like,
Right.
you get all kinds of stuff. The smaller parks, the smaller they get, they're like, how about also you get a t-shirt? And how about also you get like other stuff?
But that's the key, right? You said smaller parks, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like you said, like Disneyland has more attractions than Universal, so obviously they're going to charge a little bit more. The part that confuses me is what you mentioned earlier as well about the difference in cost between a VIP tour and what this would be, because if you're rounding out the $3,000 for 4 people, you know, to be there for one day and then you can access everything, or you can get more of your friends to pitch in and you spend this $3,500, you know, you split it $350 and then you get all day. Well, it's a little bit more. It's $4,500 because we have to factor in the cost of the ticket for the day as well. Either way, still less expensive, right? Mm-hmm. Especially when you're splitting it up amongst 10 people,
right?
Which is, you know, the limit.
That's how our girl math worked today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it works. It is still cheaper if you can get, you know,
10
a group
folks
of
together.
people.
Yeah.
So, who is this for? I'm not clear on who I think this is for. It's certainly for people that have a lot of money to spend on it, you know, but are they targeting the people that come on vacation, or are they just targeting the people that have a lot of money that don't want to stand in line but wanted a better value than Lightning Lane or what they can currently get individually? You know what I mean? Like they just wanted a Lightning Lane package sort of thing.
I think so. Here's my read on the why, I guess, is I think they're just throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks. This is definitely like a trial program. Like I think they're just like, all right, we're going to try it, see what happens. Because my guess is they're getting people that are complaining they're coming on their vacation and they say, I wasn't able to get on X and X and I paid for a Lightning Lane and I still wasn't able to reserve Space Mountain and I wasn't able to reserve this and that because the time didn't work out. And, you know, I got there at 10 a.m. and then I reserved Space Mountain for 9 at night. And so I couldn't reserve anything else before and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm mad at you because I didn't learn the very complicated system. And so this is a way to prevent that exact situation from happening where, all right, you pay us lots of money. You can get on everything that we offer on the Lightning Lane gamut of list of attractions. Whenever you want, once. Yeah. You can get on it all. It's going to cost you. And here's the thing, too. Like, this is not a requirement. Like, I don't buy Lightning Lane when we go. Like, I don't buy it. I have in the past. I went with my uncle and my cousin and my aunt. And they had bought it with their ticket because they're like, oh, it's the thing to buy. We buy it. So we bought it so we could, you know, do our days together.
Great.
And it was fine. It was just like what Fast Pass was or whatever, but worse.
Yeah.
And like, here's the thing is with, you know, comparing it to DAS and things like that, it's not really a replacement for disabled access, because at the point we're at right now, for the majority of the popular attractions, you're still waiting in a 30-minute line.
Yeah.
Like, it just is a moot point. I can't wait in a 30-minute line. Okay, pay this thing and you'll still wait in a 30-minute line probably.
Yeah.
Or go wait in the 75-minute line. Like, those are your options. Or don't come. Like, those are the options they're giving people right now. And it's you know, I understand that they've retooled the program, the DAS program, to be very rigid on who this is for. It's like, I forget the exact wording, but it's like people with cognitive disability, basically folks on the autism spectrum. Mm-hmm. It seems to be like what the wording of this program is now like allowing people into, like the people in is those very narrow definitions. And, you know, we've talked about this before, that yes, it seems like there was, you know, misuse of this, but it's a whole bag of worms and it sucks and everything sucks and then you die. And it used to be that everything sucked, but you could go to Disneyland and it didn't suck when you were at Disneyland.
Yeah.
I'm sounding like a grumpy old man over here, but you used to be able to go to Disneyland and have like not have to worry about being on your phone and looking at this thing and da 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 da. But now that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not an original idea of saying this, but they really, as a company, need to make their executives experience what the guest experiences.
Yes.
There is a huge disconnect between the people making the decisions and the people that are affected by the decisions. They have
Correct.
no idea. When do you think the last time Bob Iger went on Space Mountain?
Or had
Without
to
a
wait.
guide?
Well,
Yeah.
I just don't know if Bob Iger goes to Disneyland or a Disney park in general.
I mean,
He's,
it
like,
wouldn't
sitting in his
matter, right?
office.
Because he could just go to the front of the line.
Exactly.
Right.
They roll
Exactly.
up in his limo and they go and get the VIP tour guide and walk backstage, and you go on it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Josh Tomorrow, everybody like this is doing the same thing. Like
Right.
nobody is experiencing what the hassle is to go to Disneyland or Walt Disney World or whatever Disney park. It's all you can't just say one ticket, please, walk in and have a great day. There's planning and checking and monitoring and all this stuff, mobile ordering and da 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 da. Like it's become so complicated that like if my grandpa tried to go to Disneyland, he couldn't do anything. He would be so confused.
Yeah.
Like there's so many
Yeah.
people that probably just try to go to Disneyland and give up. So
There are people that say that. I mean, there's a lot of videos of people just posting their grievances about the park because it's so difficult to do certain things, or trying to get a restaurant. Like before, you used to just walk up to a restaurant and say table for 4, please, and
then be like, "It'll
okay,
be
just wait
25
30
minutes or
minutes,
whatever,
yeah,
yeah.
until we clear a table. Now you have to make a reservation through the app. You have to make sure something's available, or you have to make a reservation 60 days in advance for something. Like
Right.
it's pretty crazy. But it reminded me of I'm trying to remember who it was. I don't remember if it was Tony Baxter or Marty Sklar that used to require Imagineers to go to the park when they were in training and go through the experience of an attraction or a restaurant, or sit in a queue, stand in a queue, not just so that they could feel the ambiance, but so that they could understand what the guest was experiencing to try to make those experiences better.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that I don't know if Imagineering still does any of that. It doesn't
Right.
feel like they have those little touches to really help them understand, what guests are seeing exactly. And it's exactly what I was thinking about, where if there was more care, I think it's so weird, because a lot of what is given out to guests is kind of like that Apple approach. I know I joked about it earlier, but it's very much the Apple approach, where they say, here's what we're giving you because this is going to make your life better.
Right.
But it doesn't always make your life better,
You're
right?
gonna
It
love it.
sometimes makes it, it sometimes makes
we're
it
smarter
more,
than you.
right. Sometimes it makes it harder. I'll use this new button on the iPhone 16, joking aside, the iteration from the 15 to the 16 was really that they added a camera button on the side of the phone. And while Apple said this is great because now you have this button that doesn't do anything else apparently, other than, if I don't have an iPhone 16, I'm just going by what I've read and what I've heard people complain about. But because of the odd placement, their palm keeps hitting the button and it keeps going into camera mode all the time while they're scrolling through their phone. And so it's become more of a nuisance than an actual feature that they're using for the phone. And so that's one of those instances where Apple, I think, struck out in thinking like, we know you better than you know you, we're giving you this. And I think Disney's kind of like on that cusp of giving us things that aren't necessarily making the experience better, but it's making it more cumbersome for a lot of people just because of how they're handling certain things. And to be clear,
Whoops.
I'm not saying how cast members are handling things, because cast members can only do what they are told to do by upper management, right? I think the cast members are actually, in many ways, are so much more accommodating than what the current structure of certain policies are in the parks, because there's a lot of cast members that still believe in making magic for the guests the way that they have in the past. And I think that kind of rolls into the whole ball of how people feel, where they're saying Disney isn't as magical as it used to be because, and then there's all this list of grievances that have to do with pricing, lines, food, places to sit, you know, like shade, like all that stuff plays into the guest experience. And whether or not a lot of that is fixed over the years as they, you know, finished construction on like the new area in New Orleans Square with the Haunted Mansion, or they add other things, I think we're at a point where the price is going to play a very, very huge role in just whether or not people are going to go. And maybe that's what Disney wants. Maybe they're purposely getting to the point, again, this is all speculation, obviously, but maybe they're trying to get to the point to see what's the breaking point to get less people in the park again, so they can make it this vacation destination. You know, I don't know. Is that what they're going for? I don't know. Is that what Wall Street wants? You know, you have to remember that Disneyland is a company. I get it. We've all seen it as this happy place, and you know, the Disney bubble that used to exist for a lot of people is where you could go any day of the week and just grab some dinner and just sit and people watch or do whatever you wanted. I certainly can't do that anymore. You know, that hasn't been something I've been able to do for a couple of years. And I've had conversations like this with people off of the podcast, and they've just called me bitter. They've just straight up told me, well, you're just bitter and jealous because you haven't been able to go to the parks. It's like, no, it's not that I think I'm just seeing things through a slightly different lens right now because I'm not in the bubble, right? I'm seeing it from the outside in. You know, I'm not seeing it with the rose-colored Disney glasses that I used to see everything in because I had the ability to go all the time. Do I wish I could go more often? Absolutely. I miss going to the parks. I would love to sit there and people watch or have some chicken at the plaza and just, you know, wait for fireworks or whatever. But that's just not something I can do right now. But because I'm seeing all of these things happen, and I'm seeing a lot of the complaints, and I'm seeing a lot of how people are feeling, I'm seeing the changes Disney's making to policies that have existed and that have helped so many people in the past, it does make you wonder, why are they making these changes? What is different in how the company is being directed right now that makes them want to, for lack of a better term, nickel and dime everybody about everything right now? You know what I mean?
It's towards the end of the fiscal year, or they got to get their numbers up to look, you know, good for the shareholders.
Yeah.
It's probably what, you know, everything, like you brought it up, it's the company, the Walt Disney Company. The theme parks are their biggest earner for the company. It's like, you know, it's insane. And, you know, we can go into the whole history of the stock market, I guess, but basically, long and short of it, there is some events that happened in the past that made it basically the law that the company's duties are to their shareholders and not the betterment of the company itself or their employees or their product. There was a lawsuit and all this stuff. Basically, the law states that if you are a publicly traded company, your number one goal is to care what the stockholder wants. Number one.
Wow.
So there's you know, sometimes even if a company wanted to, they could not be like, hey, we're we're just gonna make the same amount of money we did last year than this year, and that's okay. Like, nope, you can't say that. You have to be like, I'm making profits at more than last year. We have to be better. And it's like, well, we made more money, but can we put that money back into this? No, we need the money. Money, 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 money. Everything's money, and it's sad and whatever. So anyway, I keep talking about all this stuff, and it's making me sad.
We need happy news.
Yeah.
Let's turn this around.
Well, so we'll jump into the other piece of news right now. So before we end this, I just want to put the question out to all of you listening or watching right now on YouTube. What do you think about this new Lightning Lane Premier Pass that's being debuted at Disney Parks? And what are your thoughts on the stuff that we were talking about today? Because, like I said, I feel like sometimes the algorithm will algorithm and it'll show you the same types of videos, obviously. So I may hear more grievances if I normally I'll go search for something to try to see what the feeling is about. And I didn't even have to search for this one. This one just came up and there was such a negative, like, it was just received negatively across the board by a lot of people. And I'll be honest, I can see where the value is for this. I definitely can see the value.
There is a person out there that it is a valuable thing to.
And who is it that they're trying to cater to? I think that's where I'm stuck right now. Is it the once or twice a year vacationers? Or, because the other thought that I had was, is this their way of trying to get something back from the live streamers that are constantly going and doing these attractions, who were some of the people that were abusing DAS? I'm not saying that all streamers do that. There were a bunch, though, that would take advantage of it. And I think that's where a lot of the DAS changes kind of began. Right. So I've wondered, like, where did this come from and who is it specifically catering to? But again,
Porque no las dos.
Yeah, it could be, right? So again, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment down on the video, leave a comment over on Instagram, or join us on Discord. We'd love for you to join the community and continue the conversation. So the last thing we'll talk about today is some good news that some people somehow tied into the bad news. And I'll tell you how. So it's funny because there was a lot of people saying, Disney's gotten really good at giving us some really good news, and then the next day or the day after telling us something that's a bit of a bummer.
But they're like they bury the lead on the bummer one. That
right.
They officially announce the good news on their pages, and then the bad news they send out to the news outlets.
Right, and that's how you hear about it. Exactly.
Poor Scott Gustin has to report all this stuff.
And that's how we got the news for this in particular. The news was that Paint the Night is returning for the 70th anniversary of the park. This is great news for a lot of different reasons. I think that, before I even say anything, your thoughts on Paint the Night returning?
Pretty much, just
about freaking time.
Just that. My brain is like, yay, and this, and why didn't they announce it? I mean, at the expo, and then, oh my gosh, I miss Mac. This is awesome, right? But then the other news, but of course, I was like excited and stuff. But reality, I don't think I'm gonna be able to go unless they have some like beautiful discount thing for us.
We'll do that thing where we put you in a stroller and pretend you're a baby, and you say I'm 3, and then
that'll go well.
I do have a onesie.
That'll go well. I haven't seen that backfire at all in the
Not recently. Nothing ever. Yeah. That doesn't happen like that at all.
I think we can make that happen.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I say about freaking time. There's literally no reason that Paint the Night needed to go away.
Yep.
There was zero reason other than the only reason that I could think of is like it was broken and they were barely holding it together and they had to fix it. But other than that, they're like, Main Street Electrical Parade's coming back again. And it's like, how about you just keep Paint the Night? You know how a Main Street Electrical Parade ran for like so many years, like uninterrupted? How about just do that
Forever.
with this? Like, until you come up with another cool thing at night, there's no nighttime parade. There hasn't been
No.
for a while. Just, it's about time. There's no reason it should have left. So I'm curious as to what floats will be included in the parade. If it'll be everything that was last at California Adventure, including the Incredibles float that was added,
I think it will.
or if that it'll go back to its original iteration, which was just without the Incredibles float.
The Incredibles float was the longest one, right?
I want to say yes.
I'm
I
pretty
can't remember.
sure
it was
the
the
longest
Incredibles 2
float.
or whatever, right?
Yeah, because it had the big
Yeah.
drill and everything on the front. But as far as length and size, I'm pretty sure the Incredibles float was the longest, and I think it's small enough to hit all the clearances that it needs to at Disneyland. Because at California Adventure, they have slightly wider aisles, and
yeah.
it can take the turns a little bit easier.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that the Incredibles float is small enough to fit at Disneyland. I'd have to go back and look at the parade. Obviously, Paint the Night is by far my favorite parade at a Disney park. I mean, I've seen some incredible things in the past. Soundsational was amazing. I've told the story before that I didn't really grow up with the Main Street Electrical Parade. I saw it multiple times, but it looked like an old parade, right? I get the nostalgia and everything, but the vibrant colors and the music and just how upbeat Paint the Night was. I remember watching it for the 60th anniversary and just instantly falling in love with that parade because it was unlike anything I had seen in the parks before. Like, we had another light parade that lasted like a day, right? But, you know, it wasn't Paint the Night. And that's why I was always joking about them bringing light magic or something to Disneyland, because I felt like we needed something really bright and colorful as a nighttime parade. And then we got Paint the Night, and man, it just exceeded all expectations. So I've been asking, when can we do this again, for so long, and I'm kind of with you, Mel. I'm going to have to figure out when and if I'll be able to see it this time around, because I also don't have a pass anymore. So
Yeah.
I'll have to figure out how to make that happen.
Let's all go together.
We'll get a VIP tour. We'll just we'll do
Sure.
the VIP tour.
Rally up everybody.
Yeah, get some pretzels and beignets and all that stuff. Did you know that it's not beignet?
What?
I
word
heard
beignet?
I heard somebody say that that if you say beignet, you're mispronouncing it.
Was it big?
Whatever.
Big
It's already
I
been 69
don't
years,
know.
so whatever.
I don't know.
That's how they
I
say
haven't-
it in The Princess and the Frog.
Exactly.
That's what I thought. I mean, is the
wanna-
whole movie saying it incorrectly?
Hold on.
Whatever's. It's just,
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
it doesn't matter.
I
It's
just-
a small thing.
I
Why does
know.
it matter?
But
I
it just
went-
caught me off guard.
I
when
went
heard
on
somebody say
Google
that.
pronunciation. It says beignet. Like
Okay, so it is right then.
So it is
beignet.
right.
All right.
There's been a lot of like rage bait kind of stuff. So
I try
yeah.
not to fall for that stuff, but occasionally at 3:30 in the morning, you never know what you're gonna see. So, all right. So there's our good news to end the episode. Paint the Night is coming back. Hopefully, we get a new float for the 70th anniversary. But right now,
Yeah.
I guess just getting the parade back. I saw a comment over on Discord from Anita, actually, saying that her daughters had never seen the parade. They never got a chance to go to the park. Now they're going to get a
Oh.
chance to see it, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore that parade, and I hope I get an opportunity to see it
Yeah.
at some point before it glows away.
Right.
again
So,
and makes room
yeah.
for the Main Street Electrical Parade again for another 4 years.
Boring. I'm looking into the floats. I'm just trying to figure out. So I completely forgot that. So at Disneyland there was a Frozen float.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was the
But
big castle one.
The Frozen float was too tall for California Adventure.
Yeah, it
So
couldn't
that's
clear
why
the
it-
cable wires down
Yeah.
Buena Vista.
So that's why the Incredibles float is there. I can't find the length on it, but of the original floats, the longest is Mac at over 54 feet long.
That makes sense.
So that was the longest. Okay.
Yeah. All the rest of them average around 30-ish feet for the bigger floats.
How did we get this wrong?
Yeah.
But there's no information on the Incredibles float for length. I'm finding right at this moment. But yeah, as far as I can tell, Mac, of the original ones, Mac is the longest. But again, I don't have any information on the. Yeah. But here's a question for you: If
Can
you
we
were
do this
to,
again?
can we do this again? What would you add for the 70th in Paint the Night? What would you add? Just to I will refresh your memory of the floats we have currently.
Haunted
we
Mansion
have
float.
we have Tinkerbell with
Haunted
the
Mansion
big
float.
horn. Hold on, let me explain. Monsters Inc. with the doors, Cars, which is the Mac, the Little Mermaid float.
No, we also had Lightning and the Jessie Dancers and
Right. Well, these are just the big floats. Yeah.
okay,
It's
okay.
a Candlelight Dreams, which is all those candles and dancers and stuff. There's Slinky Dog with Buzz and Woody, Frozen, and then the big Mickey one, and or the Incredibles float. Those are what has been at the Disneyland Resort.
I know. An Avengers float, because portals would be so cool to see.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I know I was joking right now saying a Haunted Mansion float. But I think they kind of added something like this to the Main Street Electrical Parade when they kind of did that like last revamp of it. But I would love to see a Coco float in Paint the Night.
yeah.
Like full blown marigolds and just like I think if they put together a Coco float, it would blow everything else out of the water.
Yep. I regret not saying that.
Mine would just be stealing, I think, a float, which is I can't remember what parade it is, but it's like the Tokyo Electrical Parade or whatever it is, where they have the big genie and the genie changes all the colors and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Something like along those lines, but like, more technology and stuff. I
Yeah.
think would be really fun. Just a big old genie would be cool. Or, I mean, I'm trying to just not say Roger Rabbit. I'm trying to like fit something that's in theme. But Benny the Cab going through, I don't know.
I mean, why not?
Do I think they're
There's
going to
so
add
much.
one? Maybe they'll add one with like if I'm being serious, if they added anything, it would probably be Inside Out 2.
Oh, that would be a good
Yeah.
one,
Would probably
too.
be what they add
With the memory,
if they're adding
the
anything.
core memories, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of box office, that's what they love to
Oh,
be
yeah.
right now.
The crazy thing that it is primarily a bunch of Pixar stuff in Paint the Night.
It's like
Yeah.
over half. It
yeah,
feels like
it is primarily Pixar stuff. Like obviously Mickey's the exception and stuff like that. but-
Tinkerbell
Tinkerbell.
and Little
Princesses.
Mermaid.
Yeah, I think if they separated the princesses into instead of their little floats that they're kind of like roaming around in, but if they did stuff that catered more to them, like if they had like Snow White in a mine with all the glowing gems and stuff. I think that would be super cool. Or if they did a version of Cinderella's carriage, that changes from the carriage, but then they turn off the rest of the lights and it looks like it turns into a pumpkin, halfway through, and then it like magically like spins light and it like auto goes back into full light mode and becomes a carriage again. Stuff like that I think would be super cool. Rapunzel's tower, having Rapunzel at the top, and as it's coming by, the hair glows and it just makes it look like her hair. I think there's so many possibilities with what they can do with Paint the Night. This, honestly, if all they did was iterate on Paint the Night for the next 20 years and give
like
it the
what they
run
did with the Main Street Electrical Parade.
Exactly. That's what they should do. They should just add new stuff, even if they have to remove something and add something new like every 2 or 3 years.
Right.
It would have the staying power, but it would also give the floats a rest because you don't damage them as much. But also, it would give people something to go back and watch.
And it's cooler, and it's the same song.
Exactly. And then you can add drones, and then you can do all sorts of other stuff with it.
Drones.
So we'll add that as a second question for the episode. What float would you like to see as part of Paint the Night? If Disney decided, hey, every couple of years we're going to add something new, what would you add to Paint the Night, or what would you replace? Is there something that you don't like that you just think is kind of like, that's reaching Main Street Electrical Parade vibes. Let's replace it with something cooler. What would it be? Leave a comment.
I would like to have the Woody float. Woody is a sheriff, and he keeps the law in order.
Is there a snake in your boot, McGruff?
I don't wear boots. I wear loafers.
Got it.
Yes, I'm tough on crime. I'm also tough on athlete's foot. And tough acting tonight.
More importantly, where did you come from?
I've just been hanging out over here, just watching. It's something I like to do.
I see.
I'm producer McGruff on the ones and zeros, but
only
for Andrew.
We'll make something happen for you. That way you can.
Very cool. Yes, I would like my own mic where I can talk and chime in whenever I feel. I have lots of opinions on videos and other things. I watch a lot of TikTok.
Then we're going to have lots to talk about. That's fantastic.
Yeah, do you know that video where they do a dance and it's kind of like this?
Wow. It's uncanny. I can't even do that dance, McGruff. That's fantastic. Wow.
You hear this thing the kids do? They do like this. They go.
Wow.
They do that. It's called
the
barking
mewing.
Or something.
No, mewing. Yeah.
No, like a kitten, not like a dog. Wow. I'm a dog, and I called it barking. Isn't that funny?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny, Heyzen. You should understand that was a good joke.
Whoa.
Don't get so defensive. I appreciate your joke. You know what, McGruff? It's really late. I think that's what it is. I think we're getting ready to end the podcast, and it caught me by surprise that you just popped out of nowhere, started mewing of all things.
Barking, thank you very much.
Sorry,
it's called barking with McGruff.
Barking with McGruff. And you caught me off guard with the whole, you watch TikToks and you can dance?
Yeah, yes, I am classically trained.
Well, you're going to have to tell us more about that in an upcoming episode. We're
all right,
ready
folks.
To wrap this one, but it was good to see you.
Yeah, remember to always take a bite out of crime. Don't answer the door if you don't know who it is. Eat your cereal and stay in school, kids. Okay. McGruff.
Okay, bye.
McGruff out.
All right, that's it. That's where we're ending this episode. Until
McGruff
next time.
added 10 minutes to this episode. What's he doing?
He sure did. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.